Hey everybody, welcome to Brave Yet Stupid. I'm your host and Game Master, James. Here are our players, Evan, Austin,
hello,
Ty,
the Dino Guy,
and Joe.
Did somebody call the doctor?
Boom! He shot me. Call the police. You fucker.
I gave you your daily dose of shots.
So if it's your first time watching the show, we are a role-playing game podcast where we play role-playing games live in the air. This season, we might actually wrap it up this episode, maybe an episode, next episode. We were playing Aberrant, a superhero role-playing game made by White Wolf in 1998, I believe. And if you need to know more about Aberrant, you got to watch the previous episodes.
You better get ready, because this ain't a PG-13 stream, motherfuckers. This shit's real.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, to recap, if you to refresh from the last episode, which was 2 weeks ago, we did a D&D one-shot last week, but now we have everybody back in the studio, so we can do a recap of the last week's episode. So everybody's on Mars, trying to convince the superpowered Nova, Anateus, to speak on behalf of Nova kind and try to make Novas and humans get along better so that they don't divide and form this Nova War that's supposed to happen in the future.
Of which we succeeded in.
Yeah, which where they're currently trying to negotiate that. And much to their chagrin, a spacecraft that's from a group of questionably superpowered people from the future has shown up and is trying to stop these negotiations from happening and stop the whole thing in its tracks. Just in time to ruin everything.
I blame Ty for all this.
Now, these people from the future appear to want the Nova War to happen for reasons that are unclear and unsure, whereas the players are trying to prevent it from happening in the first place. And Novas are superheroes, in case you didn't know. So the war between superheroes and humans. Is there anything I forgot in that very brief recap of the previous episode?
Life on Mars.
There is life on Mars, yes. But bacterial life.
We possibly converted Oracle? Possibly?
Possibly, maybe. All right,
and we have 4 days.
You have 4 days to stop Divus Maul, the most powerful Nova on the planet Earth, from releasing his manifesto and turning people to his side. Otherwise, the Nova War will likely happen.
Well, no, 2 days for that. 4 days until the spaceship gets here.
4 days until the spaceship gets here. But the spaceship has made a telekinetic jump and will be there sooner than you anticipated.
Fuck nuggets.
Told you.
And also there's a growing divide between me and Lloyd.
There has been a growing divide between Evan's character Morrow and Austin's character Lloyd about what's ethical to do as a superhero. Mm-hmm. Morrow is pretty much like get revenge on the evildoers however you want to do, and Lloyd's like by the book, obey the law. So that's been happening.
I'm somewhere in the middle. He's just
Alan's
eating the popcorn.
In the middle, and Gregory's just eating popcorn.
Meaning
you're quiet.
You're just off on the side just watching all this go down. That's kind of what he means.
I'm ready to fly him for all of you.
Alright, so
Gregory.
You guys are in the lab with Anateus.
Except for me.
Except for you. I forget what you're doing.
I'm just walking around the biodome.
The biome.
Looking for criminal plants to slaughter.
Okay.
No, just thinking about the conversation that me and Lloyd had.
Mm-hmm. Right. When you are suddenly hailed on a Russian communications channel.
Guys, I don't speak Russian.
I
took European and Chinese.
Let's assume that one of them speaks English.
Is that fucking gum?
Are you chewing gum on my broadcast?
I found it in my spacesuit.
You better put it away now. I don't want to do a smacking in my microphone the whole frickin' show. Did you swallow it?
No.
You wanted to do a gig.
Alright. Okay. So you're being hailed on a Russian frequency. It's ringing.
I don't know how to answer the consoles here. Anateus?
Anateus clicks a button, and you see a person with a beret and a military uniform with an entire wing of support officers behind him working at workstations saying, "This is Admiral Prokhorov Sakirov. You will immediately cease resistance and allow us to dock in your docking bay. Then we will discuss ramifications of your actions."
We didn't do anything.
Click.
At least I got to get it off before he got off. Oh dear.
Is there a callback feature?
Can we hail them over an open frequency?
I have computers, I can see.
We have a docking bay? You have a docking bay?
5 successes.
They say that they have something like that, yes.
I have 5 successes.
And the Russians are on their way?
It came from the spaceship that's approaching.
Oh.
Should we analyze to see if that's an actual Russian ship?
Did it have the Chinese symbol on it?
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did. It had the Chinese flag on it, but the crew is multinational.
Oh boy.
I would first like to apologize to Anateus. Sorry for bringing this here.
Antaeus doesn't really react one way or the other.
Second, what do we have here in the way of defenses other than...
This is a
us?
scientific research facility. There's no weapons here of any kind.
What do we have in the way of defenses? Coat me in metal and turn me into a bullet. That's literally it.
Well, I can't propel people electromagnetically just yet. Well then.
Exactly.
I think probably our best course of action might honestly be to evacuate
And go where?
Earth.
The gate doesn't open for another, what, day?
2 days.
Oh, right, because it's only been an hour since we've been here. Fuck.
Is there a way that basically we
Do you have any types of shuttlecraft?
Not that when we reach Earth orbit, he says.
Is there a way we can jam their... Didn't you have...
I thought somebody was going to try to call them back.
I wanted to try and call him back. Joe, what was your roll for it?
Roll a science check.
Nothing. Piece of shit.
6.
All right, it's ring. It opens up and goes, and you see an Indian doctor with also a beret and a military uniform looking at you curiously from the other side. Goes, This is Nadim Hastu Mapara. How can I be of service?
Guten Abend. We are calling to
So we
discuss.
we were just flagged on being warned of boarding or docking.
We wish to speak with you.
Yes, on what terms of negotiation?
There are no terms of negotiation. Mars is a Russian, American, and Chinese colony. You will comply.
in the future.
That makes no difference. You will comply.
It's quite irrelevant in our own time.
He goes,
No.
From
He
our
sighs-
perspective.
He sighs and says, "This ship has 22 Crichton fusion missiles. You will comply."
I'm not saying that I'm not going to comply. I just want to know what the issue is we're speaking of.
You will find out when we get there. Now obey commands.
No.
Like,
Oh dear God, we just fucking ended on that.
Like I was doing that right before he was trying to say that. I'm like, no. I'm just kind of response. Don't you have the your ability, that recent one that you got?
Oh, I can toss out an EMP.
Yeah,
But in a
it's
small,
funny you should say that.
localized area.
Because they fire a missile in your direction.
Yo, fuck. Okay, ETA.
And then you're receiving, your ETA is 2 hours, and you receive a transmission immediately afterward.
Okay.
Yeah, that was you that fucked that up. You get to answer this one.
I think I'm pushing the right button.
We have a Hypervernia EIA explosive plasmatic device en route to your location. If you do not comply with our request to meet and have a parley of all things, we will detonate it in the upper atmosphere of Mars, knocking out your entire facility. Do I make myself clear?
God.
Oh boy, we're fucked with the missiles.
Okay. We've got a lot to think about right now.
I'm going to take a quick walk.
I'm gonna see if I can contact.
So, one thing we have to go over right now, Lloyd, is that kind of just called his bluff. So, we all might die, but we don't know what that does to the future.
No, I'm taking a quick walk. Like, I leave the situation.
I know, I'm following you.
Okay.
All they're asking for is a parley, says Anataeus.
Which is peaceful at the moment.
Yeah.
It seems ridiculous to antagonize them.
You haven't been shot at the past 3 days.
Anataeus says, I've been shot at plenty by many different people.
Fair play.
I also don't want to see this facility get knocked out.
Right.
Honestly, the parlay would be the better.
Let's hail them again.
All right, you hail them again. This is Admiral Prokop Sakirov. Have you come to a decision yet?
We'll parlay,
Excellent.
but
There is a 125 megaton detonation you record on your screen,
that's
and then a secondary detonation as it warps into a miniature black hole.
that was an explosion big enough to probably wipe out all of Texas, if not Australia.
It was only EMP device, he says.
Regardless,
We have bigger.
I don't doubt that you're from the future. But one request, I guess.
You may make your request. I may or may not honor it.
We meet on open ground in the blasted fields of Mars.
This is acceptable. I will send you rendezvous coordinates immediately.
This is acceptable.
Excellent. До свидания. It's a button.
Fucking Russians. No, but yeah, got bubblegum in the suit. Should look. So
Did the coordinates pop in with any instructions?
Yep. They just give you coordinates and they said they'll be there.
in 2 days.
No, faster than that.
Oh
Yeah,
dear.
so they're gonna be.
They do a suborbital jump, and it's going to be within like 19 hours.
Y'all want to go for a moonwalk?
I'm not first.
And the location they've selected is 6 hours, by a rover away from where you are now.
Well, that's kind of what I was hoping for, so at least the facility isn't damaged. Or the people in it, I mean.
I'm thinking about doing is contacting the group down on Earth that basically more on Arc Knight, knowing to let them know what's going on Mars at the moment.
They'll receive your message in about 18 hours.
Better than nothing.
So much more fucking internet frequency.
Alright. Anataeus?
Yes?
Leave Anataeus here.
I was about to say, I don't think you should come with us.
It's only going to take 18... It only takes like 20 minutes to get a message, but it's got to relay through a bunch of satellites, and you're trying to send it in a way where it's not detected, so it's going to take a while to get there.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to trip up every security network the director has.
Lads. Epiphany.
Mm-hmm.
There's a spaceship
Mm-hmm.
in outer space with mega nukes.
That's generally where spaceships are, but
Right.
go on.
And we have video and we have its location. And we have a way to process it to a bunch of different satellites all at once. Now,
Oh, I know what you're doing.
I'm not saying that this is our first option, but there's always the option of making a little bit of mayhem and letting everyone know about it.
There's also the more intelligent possibility that they also have access to open frequencies and can intercept it.
Just throwing it out there. Leave Anateas here. Worst case scenario, if something bad happens out there to us, we can make an attempt, and maybe the people on the ground can get wind and do something. If we fail, maybe someone else might succeed.
Anatea says, or maybe the Gauss rifle our only communication satellite. I can't accept that risk.
Damn.
Send it through then.
Send what through?
His idea.
No, he's saying, like, if you try to communicate something, they'll probably just blow up the only satellite connecting this planet.
Yeah. All right.
Damn. Well, I guess all that's left to do is go for a ride.
Yeah.
Lloyd?
The rover has room for 3. Who are you taking with you?
Morrow stays.
If shit goes sideways, you're probably one of the few of us who could survive the surface of Mars. And I'm one of the only one who could manipulate it. And the doctor is the only one that could fix us up in case we get hit if things go sideways.
Not to leave Morrow behind, but the rover needs 1 driver, which is not you guys, and then 3 other people.
Does any of us know how to drive?
No,
Nope.
the driver is, like,
Anateas.
not Anateas, underling of his. Anateas isn't going anywhere. He refuses to meet with him.
Right.
I'm not with you guys.
Yeah. That's half the reason I said you stay.
But tomorrow might also be our best chance in case we need to make an escape.
They can see through illusions.
Some of them he can.
Let's leave a message for Morrow. If all else fails, he protects this facility and does whatever he can to save the planet. And I guess we go stare down the devil in the eye.
He has enough of an in with the Terrigen to begin with.
Alright, well, let's just stop arguing over whether our friends are evil or not, and let's just go.
I'm just calling them as they are.
Are we cool? Listen, I know I fucked up, but decisions were made, but they were rectified. And I'm trying to do better. I know I really did fuck up, but I don't want that to jeopardize our friendship.
The fact of the matter is, you're trying to make the amends. You're trying to do the right thing again. As long as you don't let your mouth do the talking, and not use any of this up here, we should be okay.
Well, usually my mouth is what gets us out of a lot of the situations we're in.
Your mouth is also what got us into this trouble to begin with. Look, I get it. I don't have any room to talk. I'm a one-trick pony. I punch things, I lift things, and I fly.
That's definitely 3 actions, but technically 2 tricks.
Okay.
And
Let's go.
all I ask is that you're a doctor, I'm a doctor. Can we just leave it at that and be friends? I want to play Siege with you. You're a cool dude. Can we drink beers or something? Hang out?
If you don't piss me off.
Why don't you
yeah.
ever return any of my calls?
Because I'm busy with patients and I don't get much sleep.
Wait, you have a real job?
Yes. I've been doing my real job. Regardless of being a Nova, I still value the life of a human being.
Well then, boys. I guess
The pilot of the ship hands you this note. Secretly. When no one's looking.
the pilot of the rover?
Don't actually do that. It's really bad for your health.
But in game.
In game, by all means, do it.
Yeah.
So you guys get in the rover. The pilot introduces himself as Jerry. Jerry Hatfield. Pleasure to meet you. Shakes each of your hand. Big fans. Big fans. Glad to see more faces up here. It gets kind of boring and lonely, you know what I'm saying?
How'd you get up here?
Me? I'm part of the NASA program.
NASA program doing what? NASA's hiring botanists now?
So I'm not a botanist, just a pilot.
Chauffeur.
Glorified, yeah, pretty much. Anyway, our ETA is about 6 hours and 15 minutes Earth time. We'll have about a day's rotation, half a day's rotation Mars time. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
All right.
Peanuts.
There's no in-flight movie, no peanuts.
I spy something red.
Let me see if I can find some more bubble gum in my spacesuit. Nope, that's just sealant putty.
Everybody but Ty, give me a, after an hour passes, everybody but Ty and Evan, give me a perception check.
Because of our super perception, or what is it?
Yeah. No, because you know this already.
And I'm not there.
One.
Difficulty 9.
Done.
Oh, I succeeded it because I rolled 2 10s.
He's not going the planned route. He's going west, not south. You discover this about 2 hours into your trip.
Wait. What?
The pilot's not going to the rendezvous point.
He's one of them.
I noticed this?
You know he's not going to the rendezvous point. You figure it out quickly on.
Hey. Aren't we going the wrong way?
We're going exactly the right way. And he pulls out a pistol and aims it right at you. Goes, the directive appreciates your long service.
Nope. Crush it in his hand.
You try to? He's going to try to shoot you. He's like, good luck, I've locked out the controls.
I need a... That's going to be a might check to crush?
Yep.
Alright, cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Wow. I am not doing well at all today. What the fuck? I have 5 5s in here.
Oh, that.
1.
I used my dexterity.
He drops the gun and pulls out a knife. It's got a plastic ceramic sheen to it, and it seems to move and flex in weird directions.
Shaping, hold his hand.
Alright. The shaven hold his hand, he goes, it doesn't make a difference. I've autopiloted the system and locked out the controls. You'll run out of oxygen eventually.
Doctor? Not if we siphon your tanks.
He goes, we're all on the same tank, you idiot.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, great.
Sit successes.
To do what?
Basically changing that route on.
Difficulty 10.
I have 110.
You reach an encryption password code, and you know that you have 3 tries, or else the system locks out indefinitely.
The good old Fallout. Let's see. Lloyd?
What?
I'm not good at scaring people.
Much to your surprise, he literally opens the door to the rover, depressurizes the entire cabin, and just walks outside, slams the door shut, and lets the rover keep driving forward. And waves without a spacesuit.
He's dead.
Well, he
No,
will.
he's still alive.
He's a Nova.
Yep.
I'm changing that route.
I don't have that.
Shaping to lock.
You don't have adaptability?
Nope.
Yeah,
Shaping.
you guys all cough briefly as carbon
Well, I have my
dioxide fills the
suit.
cabin.
Shaping to lock up the wheels.
Sure, you can try. It's pretty difficult considering it's all rusted sand.
What's the difficulty on that system?
Difficulty?
10.
Difficulty 10?
No, for you it's just standard.
Oh, 4 successes.
All right, you lock up the wheels so it's not moving, and you see him just running the other direction in 0G, just propelling himself quickly.
I did get 110.
110.
I can try and
Out
peg
of
him
that
with a
first
blast,
try.
but I'm not sure if I can hit him from this angle.
You're fairly certain that you have an idea of what the password might be based on the memory logs of the system. But typing it in is the only way to know for sure.
But I have 3 attempts total.
3 attempts.
So
Should I try? Are you sure? If he sees the rover going the right direction.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I will basically try one more time to see on the second attempt.
It's a 28-digit passcode with hexadecimal numbering system, and like it's like not a normal password. He's hashed this thing to hell.
Is there a
Okay.
radio on the rover?
Yes.
Does it operate?
Why don't you find out?
Holding the wheels, errant hand just reaching for the Vox communicator and just...
Okay. Click, 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 nothing.
Damn.
We either all have to bail. Do we have our spacesuits?
I could maybe make an airtight seal around us for all about 5 seconds.
I'll try again with the password.
Man,
You guys didn't put your spacesuits on?
we're in a rover. Admittedly, when we were
They
just...
got spacesuits on, but the helmets are off right now. You put helmets on and walk out in your
Right.
spacesuit.
Well, I've had
But
my
your
helmet on.
spacesuit only has like 45 minutes of air. It
Yeah.
doesn't
Right.
have like the rover's air supply. What'd you get?
I this time got 3 10s on this roll.
3 10s?
Yes.
All right, you type in the password. It is 1#392# SCDV _ 329556.19502H326C.
It sounds familiar.
Enter. Because I had a total of 3 tries.
Yep.
This is the first one.
You succeed.
Click, 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 click.
Radio is still damaged. He
Damn
must
it.
have physically destroyed it.
Damn it.
You could try to repair it, but you'll have to get outside the machine to do it.
If you left the ways, I'll do it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I could give it a
All right, he
shot.
puts his spacesuit on.
I'll go out with you. I'll
All right,
lift the
you
thing.
guys all put your spacesuits on.
We need somebody
okay.
behind the wheel.
Yeah,
I-
you stay inside. Like, I can lift the thing so I can get under it.
This is not a Volkswagen.
Yeah, it is now.
Look, this is not a Volkswagen.
What's the difficulty we're looking for?
It's easy. It's a 4.
Oh, well, basically, I have 4 successes.
Well, it's pretty hard not to miss this. The entire satellite dish for the communications array is missing.
Ah. Ah.
Do we have somebody that can basically bend something to make a dish?
That doesn't look
Aye. What extra scrap do we have to make a dish right now?
I have pistols that we can basically break down.
Do we have a toolbox?
I don't know why you're yelling. You guys are communicated by radio through
Yep.
spacesuits.
I'm a paleontologist.
I have the hearing aids where I'm like,
While you're so a couple hours pass while you guys are trying to figure out what you're going to do. Evan, you discover in a band like in the middle of the cargo bay for the rover, there's just a satellite dish sitting there.
Now, how did that get there?
I pick it up and I
Inside
show
job,
it to
damn
Anataeus. I'm like, I think something's missing from this.
That's on the rover.
No, it's not. It's in my hands.
Anataeus shakes his head. He's like, I'm aware of that. Someone took it off the rover.
Apparently.
Why would someone sabotage the? And then he immediately puts the entire space station in colony
lockdown.
into lockdown. As soon as he hits it, he goes, "There must have agents here already."
Can we? I was about to say, can we contact them? But no, we can't.
Well, that's just the rover's dish. He can communicate with anyone else, but he can't contact them. And the other thing, they have no way to receive the message.
That's what I was kind of asking, but I'm like,
Right.
no, we can't.
How far away are we from the colony right now?
2 hours.
About 2.5 hours.
We have 2 hours of air left and about 45
No,
minutes.
you have like 12 hours of oxygen left in the rover.
We have-
you
we
don't
have-
you don't
we
have to
have
worry
plenty.
about that.
But we've got only a couple hours to get to the meeting point, which is in the
Yeah.
opposite direction.
Which
You got
basically
20
I
hours
had-
now.
What?
It'd be
20, yeah,
no. It's 6 hours there, so they're 8 hours away.
right.
Yep. We basically just turn it around and go the direction we need to.
Okay, then why don't we just do that?
And I have to basically see if we can make a dish out of the scrap metal. So I will probably have to use my pistols.
Why don't we just use reflections? See if we can just get a basic flashing Morse code across the expanse. Get to a high point.
Could.
It's not like there's a lot of flashing lights on Mars.
No.
Alright, give me a piece of metal. I'll fly up as high as I can. You guys gotta tell me what the Morse is. I don't know that.
I
I could help.
am a little rusty.
I have knowledge. Survival.
As do I. Well, maybe we should just sit.
Force assesses.
I think we should just sit you on top of the rover as we're going, and we just go dot dash until we get a message.
What message are you trying to send?
Saboteur, stop. On
To who?
to the station, just in the general direction if we can.
There's too much dust and particulate in the air for that to travel that far.
Oh well.
I would suggest sending it to whatever landing party is coming down to speak to us.
Yeah, that was my thought.
Rover here.
You need a brighter light than simple flash to do that.
Oh, and I can't use my. No, I can't.
For once in an entire story, bioluminescence comes in handy.
Does my healing ability
No.
do any light? No.
Well,
Minor, but not really.
and we can't produce any amount of light that would affect it since it's still daytime out.
I'm gonna check if we have a flashlight with us.
Oh, I have a flashlight.
There's lights at the front of the rover too. They're pretty bright.
I say we just get going. We're wasting
use-
too much time like this.
Alright.
I'm gonna keep a check out while see if that
We're heading
directive
back.
agent's heading towards us again.
We're heading back in the right direction, so we're going to pass by the station. If need be, we can get the dish. You just have to watch out for.
Anataeus immediately goes through the entire player roster, and it must have been the pilot. He intuits, I need you to go out there and stop him.
We'll see what I can do.
As soon as he enters the hangar bay, I need you to take him out. Anataeus is like literally calling for you to get rid of him.
All right. Find a place to
We made
hide.
the right decision. Guess we made the right decision.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to a situation that Lloyd would actually approve of.
Alright. So, you guys are heading to the meeting place?
Yep.
Alright. Evan, you're in a spacesuit in the hangar. The entire rest of the area is on lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
And you do see someone approaching from far off in the distance without a suit outside.
Guessing that's him. Is there, like, what's my surrounding like?
There's another rover. There's like a big dual airlock to bring the rovers out, and there's a lot of tools and equipment on the side to repair the rovers, like around the thing. There's a couple of workers locked in here, and they're kind of like wondering what's going on.
I briefly explain the situation to him, and I go. I point. I see the guy walking.
Yeah.
Point to them, and I just go. Don't do anything. Just let me take care of this.
You know. Oh, he's some type of agent.
Yes.
Antaeus warned us about him.
Mm-hmm.
Goes, when he gets to the door, throw that switch over there. And they point to something. It's like a big throw switch. and it says it's got a biohazard symbol above it.
I think this place is a thorium reactor.
Something along those lines.
I look at it. I
Waste
look at them. I'm
disposal,
like,
either way it works.
I'm not gonna die if I throw this, right?
It goes, no, anything in the airlock will though.
Okay.
Oh.
It's like a display burn decontamination like emergency decontam switch.
What they needed in the movie.
Fire
Life.
and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he enters in the airlock and he tries to type in his passcode to open up the airlock, and you immediately incinerate him and he starts screaming. So that'll teach him.
Mm-hmm.
For all of about 10 seconds.
Yeah. He takes ag damage and dies.
Okay, right before I throw the switch, if you can see me, I just go.
Toodaloo.
Alright. You guys are about 2 hours late to the meeting point, but you see the spaceship landed on the surface of the planet, and there's a large inflated, biome hut that it seems to be alive when you look at it, and there's an umbilical connecting to it, and there's an airlock on the other side for you to enter, with an umbilical leading to the side airlock of the rover. To
Biomechanical deployable structures.
Yes.
BMDs.
I'll do a perception check of who's inside. Can you see inside the dome? So how many people are in there?
Yeah, it's transparent.
Okay.
There's about 5 or 6 people in there, from what you can tell.
I'm-
One of them looks really strange. The rest of them are in civilian plainclothes. Well, not civilian plainclothes, but like military uniforms and a beret. And one of them is wearing some type of biosuit.
Can I roll for that person?
Sure. What are you trying to do?
I just want to get a register of what they look like and all that.
The person in the biosuit's over 7 feet tall.
I'm going to try and get a look at the ship and the umbilical and try and gauge what kind of force would be needed in order to cut off the umbilical.
They have auto turret cannons deployed around it. So good luck.
I was just only observing the whole entire situation.
Right.
Just being quiet.
How many guards?
None that you can see.
Ominous.
They have turrets. They're gonna pretty much, if we do something, they're gonna take us out.
Well,
We're serious about the parlay.
guys, once more into the breach, right?
Not breaking down a door this time, though.
If this is our last day knowing each other, first of all, I'm not apologizing.
Is this where we have to talk about our feelings? I walk inside.
And I want to say that you are my best friends.
The first step you take into the umbilical, the gravity catches you and you're at Earth normal instantly. And the floor is like this crystalline structure you're not used to. It's artificial gravity, apparently.
Awesome.
There's nothing spinning? Nothing to
Nope.
make it?
Nope.
Oh boy.
Like I'm back on Earth.
That's some good news.
As you're approaching the transparent structure, the person in the power suit looks less and less human.
Oh.
Ah, I see. Bana weep, wana weep, ninny ban.
Hi. You are what?
You're not in the airlock yet. You're at the airlock door. They open it up, and 2 guys with guns, like point them at you at first, then shoulder them, then march inside and open the door for you.
Great.
And there's a conference table set up, and 3 people on the side of the conference table, and there's the guy in the power suit and 2 other people.
Apologies for the delay. There was a saboteur among us.
We were tracking your vessel. We assumed something of the sort. We tried to hail you.
Our communications equipment was damaged.
Allow me to introduce our negotiator, Indira Kambani. And a beautiful Indian woman bows to you and has a big smile. And she says, "Welcome, welcome. Apologies for how we've encountered each other in the past. I am Indira Umbani. I am with Aeon Trinity. It is a pleasure to meet you.
Didn't we smash you once or twice?
She says, no. There are many Indians aboard this ship.
Hmm.
And Americans and Russians and Chinese and
Are they
Germans.
on the ship?
Yes. You're more than welcome to take a tour of the ship after we complete our negotiations, if you wish.
Sure, there's
So
someone
the
there.
flooring material, I'm guessing it's some sort of...
Anti-gravity, it's a gravity manipulation device.
I was going to guess, actually, from the crystalline structure, some sort of iron composite.
Electricity runs through it and it generates artificial gravity. It's an anti-graviton pulse generator.
Neat.
Anyways, we're here to talk, so I'll just help myself to a chair.
The guy in the power suit, you hear a voice, but you don't. It's got like a mask over the power suit, and you hear a voice, but the mask doesn't move and make noises, and you just hear the "Is this one of those kind?" And she says yes. In English, yes, and she says yes. This is one of their kind.
He means Novas.
Indeed,
What is he?
A gray man?
he is a king.
Gray man. Taller than expected.
We have encountered many alien races in our time.
And incorporated them into your DNA and technology.
We have exchanged technology peacefully. The Keen are our closest allies.
So you can get along with an alien race fine, but not with a Nova.
Allies against what?
Allies against enemy threats to both of our worlds. She doesn't seem to explain further. Or it won't unless you, like, roll rolls to pry it out of her.
Elaborate.
And what are we trying to roll for?
This would be a rapport roll.
Where is that?
You know what?
It's
I'll ask.
wits.
Ah.
And surprisingly, I got lucky on this one.
A success.
A success.
Oh, he did way better.
She says, well,
2.
we're not going to lie to you. Hideously mutated aberrants, or as you call them, novas, are one of our enemies.
So, like this. And I sort of just, if I can, see just...
You appear to be at the halfway point of transformation into something untenable.
From the information we have currently, there's a process in order to halt it available to the Novas of our
There is
time.
no technology we're aware of that can reverse that process.
Not technology, but there is word of mouth that it is possible to halt it.
If it is, we don't know what it is.
The source of the information is Divismal.
We're aware of Diva Small.
Before we get into any of that, can I ask a real question?
Of course.
What has happened to, as you put it, our kind in your time?
You left.
But
Or more appropriately, you were asked to leave. And you did. And for a time there was peace. And then you returned, hideously mutated and more horrifying than ever. You threw a space station at France.
me?
Not you personally, but your kind. And to answer your question, France no longer exists.
Figured. Basic physics.
This was the opening shot in what we call the Nova War, or the Aberrant War, as we would call it.
And how long has it been waging?
For a century,
Who's winning?
we are.
Then why are you here?
You threaten the timeline. She opens up a holographic sequence of events and points to a location on it. Says, you are here. We are here. Approximately 550 years in the future. Now, from your perspective, you're preventing something horrible and destructive. From our perspective, you're doing something like pushing back doomsday and making it worse. Much, much worse. If you could but see the timeline we come from, you would understand that humanity is finally united together, without war, without poverty, without hatred of each other. Checking to see if she's lying.
Prove it.
She goes,
Yeah. I have.
She seems to be telling the absolute honest truth.
Good successes.
She goes, we don't live in a utopia by any means, but we live in the best world humanity's ever known.
So wait a second.
If you deviate from this timeline, if you change the Nova War, that reality won't happen. It'd be like going back in time and killing Hitler. Yes, you'd save millions, but you'd just make a universe where Stalin or Mao Zedong conquers the world, and it'd be even worse.
So, question.
Or, apologies, Lloyd, but adversely, something much better might come from it.
She goes, those are uncharted world lines. We are not willing to compromise the utopia we've built for that. I'm sorry, but the future belongs to scions and humanity. It does not belong to your kind.
It doesn't...
You are a deviant race divulged from evolution. Like the Neanderthal, you're better, stronger, faster, but yet you lack something we have.
Stability.
Connection to the universe itself.
Same difference.
I'm basically using my science and saying basically there might be an opportunity that we could probably prevent this so that all sides won't have... Basically trying to say that there is possibility that we could all function and work together.
Our
if we can
predictive
find
engines
something.
have already accounted for that possibility.
What if I could tell you that maybe there is a miscalculation?
You think you have a miscalculation in a system that's a biological computer, the comprised intelligence of which is more than the entire atoms in the universe combined?
Maybe. I have the knowledge.
You'd be wrong. She doesn't even give you a chance to respond. She's just like, you'd be wrong.
Why even bother with this? You could have just as easily gone back,
7 successes.
wiped our minds of any information that of doing anything.
You assume
might-
that technology
It
exists.
doesn't. You've been watching
Novas
too
can
much
do it
videos.
now. Why can't you people do it?
We can do it to an extent, it just to be more difficult. And on top of that, we don't want to raise the suspicions of the directive.
Well, they already know you're here.
They know something's here. They don't know what. We've monitored their communications. Their encryption is, how would you say?
Basic?
Yes.
By your standards.
Their encryption wasn't even that hard to hack into. I had no problem basically fixing on one of their computers redirecting with the
You
rover.
keep talking at us like we're not human.
You're not.
Neither is he.
What if I told you we
And
are?
what about the
human?
scions?
The scions are human beings. All human beings are capable of becoming psionic.
Okay.
Not every human being can manifest psionic abilities.
All right. What separates us from the psionics? Other than...
Psi comes from the universe. It comes from all living things. Your abilities come from quantum reality. They are diametrically opposed, just like protons and antiprotons, just like gravity and anti-gravity. We cannot coexist. You've proven that.
The future has proven that the Novas of the future cannot exist with the scions. But you've given us information that, regardless of what you're going to tell us,
You help the directive, you're going to make a dystopia where no one has any choice
I'm not
and
helping
everything's
the
in police
directive.
state. You help the Terrigen, you're going to make humans chattel in a breeding environment, and they're going to be ruled over like gods.
And what about the Aberrants then?
What about them?
They're the only other source that basically is looking to help.
They uncover the truth of utopia. Novas and humans fight a war. It's that simple. There is no outcome where you end up ahead in this scenario. You cannot fight the future. It has already happened.
And can we humor me for 2 seconds then, or am I allowed to touch this? If I touch it, what happens?
Touch what?
The hologram for the timeline.
Sure, it flickers a bit, but you can touch it.
So, what if we move this end day up to where the Novas leave sooner? Have our own world to inhabit.
Interesting.
Which
Run that calculation, she says to another
I
guy,
roll.
and he starts typing into a machine.
8 successes.
one big problem with that there. It's the fact that there are going to be novas that will mutate. So invariably there might just be a similar outcome in which novas come back and try and conquer Earth again.
It's a simple thing. You either are. It'll take time, of course, to terraform a world, but those novas who stay abide by the laws of Earth and how it progresses, and the novas that leave function by the government
Aeon
they choose.
Trinity has given me supreme authority in this matter to negotiate whatever will happen. And I will tell you that the possibility of you picking some remote star system and starting over there is very tenable to us, as long as you don't interfere with the human race any longer.
Mars.
That's not far enough away.
No, we would have to move on past.
Plus, Mars
Pluto.
is ours in the future.
Doesn't have to be.
You know,
What's on Mars that you want so much? Other than
A
just
home. I was born here.
I know a few years.
not born yet. And by my count, some 4 or 5 billion people die next 10 years.
Do you have any idea how many people died during the Ice Age? Do you have any idea how many people, what percentage of humanity was left at that time? 2,000 people. 2,000.
Yep.
Brain capacity tripled.
Can we stop having this debate right now and focus on what the main priority is? I've done the calculations.
It's a tragedy. It is. But it's a tragedy that must happen for humanity to learn.
We don't have to learn from mistakes that have already been made.
What are you going to do?
8 successes on that. Basically, seeing the quantum possibility of the calculations we were talking about before. Ty, went on
You
this.
and the modeling computer come to the same conclusion that there would still be the possibility of cross-contamination, as the other model puts it.
Instead,
always a
we
possibility
could
of
simply
cross-contamination.
act on them.
Is there maybe a way that maybe going back in time further to change this?
Already been tried.
Because obviously it's going to be happening now, but if we go back in time and actually prevent something,
What if you just killed
Greatly.
Divis Maul when he's an infant?
that wouldn't do anything.
What
We
would
don't
that
know
do?
when Diva Small was born. We estimate it was sometime before 1750.
Then what if you just go back to the time that the directive was formed and kill him? There won't be a need for the directive.
He'd be far too powerful at that point. Even then, he's at least
He's
already-
more powerful now.
Yes, but
He
even
is.
then, the only way to properly deal with it is when he's in his early adolescence and have an ability to detect novas and have a strike force to go back and assassinate him, thus preventing the
You're
Terrigen
missing the
movement.
point. Divis Maul has not shown his face to the human race in over 600 years. He's not out there. He's dead.
That's
And even if he wasn't, we have EIE implosion bombs that would trap him in another dimension for all eternity. So what point are you making?
There's going to be a possibility of cross-contamination regardless of what future we pick. You know that, right?
Indeed.
So if we move a future to where Novas can have their own home and you can have your own home, what's the problem?
we'll get homesick.
You just talked about it. About the
Yes,
grants.
but still, it'll take time. You're willing to give us time to fix this, yes?
Doubt it.
She says that would make an uncharted world line. We have no idea what would happen in that scenario. As a matter of fact, perhaps there's a theory that perhaps the arrival of novas is what triggers the arrival of scions as an antibody to nova's existence.
Do we have
Or it's a
information
nat-
about Do you have information about when the first developed, like basically the first Nova recordings?
That would be approximately 12,000 BC.
Just don't tell me this is gonna be like apocalypse. Damn it.
In only humans.
Only humans.
Science
The
exists
Keen
already.
do not have any knowledge of psionics or of quantum powers. And they are the masters of biological engineering. The Keen guy bows. They gave us the technology to terraform Mars like it was child's play.
And thus destroyed an entirely native ecosystem in the process, depriving a planet of its own life.
No, a symbiotic change.
An invasive species.
Then if that's the way you want to be, she says, then what if we consider you the invasive species?
You already do.
She smiles and says, yes, we do. You are in the way of the ascension of the human race.
But what if we do not have to be in the way when we can all just stand together? We have a chance to potentially unite everyone under a single humanitarian banner. We do not have to be the enemy. You don't have to be the enemy. No one has to fucking fight.
She flips out a laptop computer, shows it to you, and shows and plays a video. This airs tomorrow, she says.
Divas
If
Moles
it's not
Manifesto.
The members of Homo sapiens novus, also referred to as novas, are a separate species from Homo sapiens.
One guy.
Regulations and laws enacted for the good of Homo sapiens are too easily subverted and misinterpreted to abuse the rights of novas, but required by destiny to attain their full potential. Should I continue?
I write that
No.
down, all that information, because that's basically Mephisto.
One guy saying this.
One guy that inspires millions of your kind.
But what if we beat him to the punch?
You want to promote some other message?
We've got Antaeus, hero of humankind, a symbol of unity and peace. Whereas Divus Maul, his counterpart. Give us the chance. And in the end, think that the future that you want is still the one that needs to happen? Well then, you're gonna have to find me and kill me for it. I won't stop,
Roll a
but I at least want to try.
roll a very important wits plus you're appealing to her emotions, so actually it's going to be a charisma command roll.
Oh, you are the wrong person.
You might want to spend a
And
willpower.
you're talking
sir.
to a diplomat, by the way.
I'm gonna spend my first willpower. One success.
I'm gonna basically.
Any attempt whatsoever to communicate with Earth from your location will result in the immediate destruction of your domicile and all satellites in the vicinity. Period. Do I make myself clear?
That gives us no options.
You have no option. We are the future. We have inherited the Earth.
Then why did you bother speaking to us?
To explain to you, in layman's terms, why we're doing what we're doing, so you stop interfering with our plans. We figured you would understand. If you want another world for Novas, then by all means, find your people you care about and leave. You can avoid the Holocaust to come.
One mistake you made with that. You're not talking to Novas, you're not talking to Aberrants, you're not talking to some mutated, disgusting species that came to try and wipe you out. You're talking to heroes who believe that it is our duty and a clear possibility to attain world peace and protect all under Earth's banner, not just a single faction. We will fight, at least I will, to protect the future and prevent loss of life, to whatever degree. If you cannot accept that, then do what you will.
She thinks deep, long, and hard. She seems to be moved by what you said. And she responds in turn with, I am responsible for the lives of 3 trillion people on 4 different colonies and about a couple billion aliens on top of that we're allied with, against threats that you can't possibly imagine, that aren't just you. So please, I understand where you're coming from, and I get your hero saga that you want to be a part of. But if you're talking to a hero, you're not going to get much farther than me.
And you should understand this more than anyone, that we at least have to try. We may not get the same exact future, but if there's even the chance that we can get a better one where no one has to die, no one has to make any more mistakes, then we at least have to try.
The keen representative says, but that world line would have already failed, or we would not be having this conversation. And she says, that's another point.
Is there a way we can basically look at all these situations, the outcomes? You guys have all the information because there was past history, but for us, we don't have any of that information. The other thing is,
if we give you that information will cease to exist, and when you act on it, it'll cease to exist, and we'll be back in the same conversation. That's how time travel works.
And honestly, I highly doubt that situation. If we basically find a quantum physics area in the timeline, we can basically find the right outcome so that doesn't have any effect. Regardless, there is always going to be a sacrifice. There is always going to be lives taking. But we're here on both sides.
What if we can change his mind?
Who?
Divas Malls.
Can try. We won't stop you from doing that.
We've got psionics on our planet as we speak.
They're in the ship right now, to be honest.
Even the woman that I met.
No. We don't know what you're talking about, actually. You're talking about proto-scions, people that developed psionic abilities before it became an evolutionary change in mass.
Evidence that humanity is evolving, that novas are not indeed the next step and are not superior. We are merely a member. Allow us to use Anateus, allow us to use these individuals, attempt to appeal to him at the very least.
Very well. We can accept this. It won't change anything, but we can accept it. That's why we can accept it. You can try all you want. The future is inevitable. It's already happened.
Not while I'm still breathing.
Well, for the sake of my family, I hope you're wrong.
For mine as well.
I think we're done here.
But I thought they were going to get a tour of the ship, says somebody else, and the other was slaps on the back of the head. If they want to leave, they can leave.
Doctor?
I'm actually going to stay a little bit behind to see about some of their advanced technologies.
I'm going to stay as well.
About the research.
I need to do some talking. Will you two be fine?
Yeah.
Lloyd.
What?
Do you trust me?
I trust you enough because I'd do the same thing.
Good enough for me.
All right.
I'd like to go.
The
hang out.
Keen representative steps in front of you. He's got like diplomatic robes around his power armor, and he graciously greets you and goes, without moving, his face doesn't move. It just has like a permanent, like sublime smile planted on it. He says, "Of what do I owe the pleasure?"
I bow. I am curious with the very vast technology advancements. I'm a man of science, not only medical, but all of science.
Ah, a medical scientist from this era. I would most likely talk to you. You have a brief conversation where he pretty much explains to you that every piece of technology that humanity and the Keen make are 3D printed by biolabs. Everything's biological in the future. There's no hard tech.
So that's
It's all grown
okay.
in a mass production facility.
Interesting.
A planetarium.
Pretty much. There's just different lattices that grow different living weapons and different living tools and different living things. Like hard tech is like he actually laughs. He goes, "The only nation that still invests in hard tech is Japan, and they're always the butt of the joke because they do that."
Oh, that's a classic World War II joke.
Like they're constantly trying to make giant fighting robots, and we just don't understand.
I'm sitting in the rover about to leave, listening to the radio. No, you have a mission. You have a mission. You have a mission.
I'd like to do a minor tour of the ship.
Okay, you see you're taken in this ship, and there's men and women from all different backgrounds and countries, and Keen aliens too, all working together.
Who's currently escorting me?
One of the Keen is escorting you.
I'm just gonna
The
take.
humans don't seem to want to have anything to do with you.
I was gonna say I'm
wonder
gonna
why.
do a number of side glances at him just because of the biosuit, and it's a curiosity in a sense. But there is one person I'm kind of looking out for,
Who?
and it's the American that I was fighting in the sewer.
Yeah, he's. You reach the sick bay, and he's still recovering from that bash you gave to his face. And he sees you, and he goes,
I walk straight up to him.
Heel.
I just stand there, I look at him, and eventually I just hold a hand out for a shake.
he goes, "What do you want with some kid from Baltimore?"
Nothing. You
Yeah.
put up a good fight.
He goes, "Your city's pretty nice. Too bad it doesn't exist in the future."
Ouch.
Think it got blown away when a third of the U.S. was completely destroyed.
Nods his head. "I grew up in the arcology."
Yeah.
You know what an arcology is?
Yeah. It's literally.
It's a city. It's a building that's a city.
It's a megacity.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was pretty rough, but I'll tell you what. I never went without food, and I never went without shelter.
Is that why you joined?
I joined because I'm a scion.
Did you have a choice aside from it?
Of course I did. Well, who doesn't want to become a scion? Every kid wants to sign up for that. And don't regret it either.
I'm gonna sit down next to him. You know, I don't think you and I are so different.
Yes. Yeah, now, when you start growing tentacles out of your head and rampaging through the streets, murdering people, then we're going to be a lot different.
I go into Nova form.
Okay? A bunch of people look at you in awe from the sides, and even his lights light up a bit, and he's like, "Okay, what's your point?"
Some of us have morals. Do you know why I stay like this?
No.
I started human. I'll die a human, regardless of these powers.
Well, then you're the exception, pal. You know how many scions have killed other scions?
Too many. Really? Not even a single one in a war.
Yeah. You know why?
Hmm.
Because if one of us dies, the rest of us feel it.
It's interesting.
Makes sense.
There haven't been any wars. Not in 250 years.
Program.
What?
I'm not with him, but
What'd you say?
I'm saying basically you guys been programmed. Basically, everyone being a scion is all connected. So you're
Collective
all,
consciousness.
Yep.
To some degree, yeah. He says. Let me just put it this way. When this ship launches, it makes an echo wave that we have to be outside of Uranus. And I'm not talking about Uranus. I'm talking about Uranus, obviously.
Yeah, they
He catches himself.
I got it.
We have to be that far away from Earth. Otherwise, it makes an echo wave that'll make every scion on the planet have a nervous breakdown or a giant headache.
Huh.
We actually used it as a weapon against the chromatics once.
Chromatics.
They're an alien race. They're a problem.
Oh. Speaking of aliens, these... What are they?
The Keen? Fuck if I know. They just showed up one day in their biosuits. They literally were flying in their own spaceship, and then the spaceship disintegrated into a million pieces, and they all fluttered down to this from the sky and said, "Hi, we're the Keen. Nice to meet you." Then they gave us the technology to terraform planets like it was child's play. And they didn't ask for anything in return. Turns out they're pretty cool. We have all the same values. They're just really, really weird, he says as one walks by.
I see. It was good talking with you.
He goes, "Hey, I hope you're right."
You know what? So far, your future isn't terrible. It's just a shame of how it had happened.
That's what we've been trying to explain to you the whole time. Sorry about trying to explain it with plasma cannons and superpowers.
Sorry I hurt you. It's a bit of a reaction I have nowadays.
Nah, I was trying to kill you. It's fair.
Hey,
Then he shakes your hand finally.
when I do shake his hand, I kind of smirk at him a bit. Baltimore. And then I just let it go and I start walking away.
Did you just have a fucking Captain America moment?
I did. And then
You just got a bromance, dude.
I did.
For all you know, that's your great descendant.
Could be. There is one other thing though, because I went Nova.
Yeah,
But leaving, I would tone back down as much as I can.
yeah.
The Keem. They're wearing biosuits, and I have no idea what they actually look like.
No.
I partially want to know.
How are you gonna do that?
Hey, does this thing come off?
No,
He
I'm
says,
curious,
"Please don't
too.
touch me. I need that to live."
Well, I'm not there. I'm in the rover on the way back to the station.
That's right.
I'm just gonna, while one's walking with me. So what exactly are you?
We are Keen.
I got that part, but what are you?
I don't understand your question. We are Keen.
Let me
It's
rephrase.
gonna come up.
I am a Nova. I dormant myself in order to look more human.
Ah, you wish to know what our regular form looks like.
You have a different form. I was wondering if the biosuit, you wear a mask.
We keep the biosuits on not only to sustain ourselves and survive in your environment, but also because our regular form would be a little unsettling to humans.
I've seen someone with a brain the size of your entire torso, multiple arms, and an exposed
one
heart.
of the Russian Federation scientists ouges you, and she just goes, "They're slug people." And she walks past you and keeps going.
Oh, they're like Golo.
And he says, "We are Keen, not Slug." And she's like,
Oh, this makes
"Slug people."
this makes so much more sense. Oh god, it explains the hyperintelligence.
Mm.
They're literally just
What if they're
brains with a little bit of mucus.
Please tell me there's a slur
Extra
McKenzie
mucus.
in this.
Slurms McKenzie? Yeah.
Somebody slur.
Imagine the kind of porn they made in the future.
Oh, God.
You had to ask that question?
Damn it, Ty.
No,
No more. No more.
You fiber bullet. Anywho,
If I can try to appeal to him, I'll show you my Nova state if you show me your...
I can't exist outside this suit in this atmospheric environment.
That is problematic. Have you seen a Nova before?
No,
Would you like to?
I saw you earlier in the room.
I see.
I overheard,
got
but
the
would
kick
you
out of
like
me.
to see my Nova State?
Humans are rather interesting in all the varieties they show up in.
I stay
Thank
in
you
my...
for finding me as human.
What else would you be?
Apparently, to the psionics, not human.
That's a shame.
Thank you. Perhaps you can change their mind someday.
Yes. I'm not sure. There's a distinct difference between Keen, too. The Keen that stayed on the home world are not as diplomatic as we are.
That exists in every race.
extermination. I'm just imagining a slug with a laser rifle.
Oh, God. It exists.
Extermination is the cockroach, damn it. I'm Timmy Turner.
Thank you for showing me around this ship.
It is my pleasure. Would you like to see the engine room next?
Yes.
Right. There's an antimatter reactor in the engine room.
Oh,
And
did
then
you want to
on top-
come?
No.
On top of that, there's a giant room that's he explains that this room emulates what the teleporter scions can do, but on a ship-wide level.
How far can your teleporters go?
10,000 light years approximately in one jump.
I'm taking the fucking rover.
Loser.
Do you radio that? Did you do it?
If I'm listening into all this over the radio comms from the rover, which don't work, then I mean,
The ones in your helmet do.
am I still in range, James?
Yeah.
I'm taking the fucking rover, and they have a teleporter.
Yeah.
I'm crying inside of a space helmet.
The echo is annoying.
While you guys are sitting there talking, a medical officer from Brazil shows up, and he starts asking you questions in Portuguese. And then when he realizes you have no idea what he's talking about, he switches to broken English. And he appears to be studying you as a specimen because he's fascinated because he's never had a Nova this
I was going to say, does he speak Spanish, Portugal, and Spain are right next to each other, so...
No, he's from Brazil. They speak Portuguese there.
Oh.
Suddenly someone further in the future comes and says, no, you can't study him. You can't have this information in the future. We have to stop you. Burr.
I'll let him. I'll go full Nova just so he can...
Right.
You're altering the
He-
timeline.
his eyes open wide, and he takes a bunch of scans on you and stuff, and thanks you for your time afterward.
Yeah.
You are now a weakness for the system. I'm just kidding.
I have a weakness. It's called normal asphyxiation standards. That's literally it.
I love how I'm just still in my human form while I'm just
Could-
doing this tour.
Hey, Lloyd, could Slugman take me and put me on Earth?
Theoretically, but if you weren't listening in, it's going to give every single one of these people a...
No, it doesn't
Nervous-
affect anyone in the ship. It creates a psionic shockwave
Oh,
outside
okay.
the ship.
That's outside. Maybe?
But that would hurt the proto-psionics.
Maybe?
What are you idiots up to?
Are they even psionic enough to be affected by it?
I feel like that's a question for the psionics.
You're standing next to the slug. I was
Well,
assuming that
the Keen guy, the Keen operative,
I was assuming that you were
diplomat, excuse me,
telling
um,
the Keen.
tells you that he heard that when France was destroyed, every Scion on Earth was knocked unconscious for approximately 2 weeks.
Oh, damn.
Then how the hell did they ever defend against an army of aberrants?
They took the fight to the Aberrants.
Oh, as a response.
After they
back.
recovered.
Yeah, after 2 weeks.
Yeah, but 2 weeks is enough to conquer a planet and kill everyone that's unconscious.
Yeah, the human race has become aware of that and put in psionic defenses to prevent that from being used as a weapon against them. But before that, they didn't have anything. That's one of the chief reasons they colonize other planets now. So they can disperse the human race farther out.
I go to start leaving, but I ask my escort one final question.
Yes, of course.
Do you think this is the best future?
The Keen are happy to deal with humans in whatever future they arrive, as long as we share the same values as normal. We too have a bloody history. We overcame that with our technology.
And your separation?
No, we're a unified people now. We seek to explore other worlds. That's our driving cause.
Alright. Thank you. And I'll meet with his custom of a bow.
He bows in return.
And I'll head out to the rover.
They bow because the reason they're named the Keen is because the Chinese are the nation that made the first contact.
Of course.
So all their mannerisms are distinctly Sino.
Hey, do you think they have a shuttlecraft that we could just take down the Earth?
Dude, I don't know. You're the one that left in a temper tantrum. You go ask them.
Do you have a shuttlecraft that we could take down the Earth?
Well, they're already flying the ship towards the base, like the whole spacecraft. It actually flies above you.
left?
I think it's just you, buddy.
Yeah.
Deny.
You arrive a couple hours after everyone else does, and you see a diplomat arrive inside the space station. Like the door opens for the airlock, along with a guy in a biosuit that doesn't appear to be human.
I feel like I missed something.
They both greet themselves. They both greet you and introduce themselves. One just simply introduces himself as a Keen, and the other, Indira Mumbani.
Hold on, we gotta do something real quick. Alright, everyone disinfect.
Alright.
I introduced myself as human.
I am human.
Only
Yep.
one of them's an alien.
And I asked,
You don't find that term offensive, do you?
He goes, no, of course not.
Just making sure.
I just ask him, so, what brings you to the side of Mars? Trying to break the ice.
Your leader, Lloyd, was it? Wants to put through a message from Anateus to Earth and believes it can reduce or eliminate the possibility of the Nova War ever occurring. We're skeptical, but we're allowing him this one chance to prove it.
Are you the leader? You're the leader?
Damn right I'd be the leader. I'm always the one on the front line fighting.
Making the most.
Alright, let me take you down
Correct
to
decision.
Follow me.
You're the spokesperson, but they think he's the leader. You didn't go on the ship, so they figure you're not important.
Makes sense.
You screwed.
Well, I assume they'd give them a lift back and I'd just be on the rover on the way to the base. Like
Yep.
Like a jump.
I fully intended to just be leaving,
I would say
honestly.
jump more like a grind.
Listen,
But I
time
go-
wasted. We need to save the planet.
Yeah.
I just go, alright, let me take you down to Titus. Follow me.
Alright, okay, they take him to Anateus. Anateus is fascinated to meet an actual alien, and that consumes most of the conversation until you arrive. Anateus shows his theory for how to terraform the planet, and like he's an idiot child, the Keen come in with their own formula, show him several uncharted enzymes and genomes and different things from their planet, and change his entire algorithm, and he looks at it and he goes, "Oh."
Poor Anatas.
Yeah, I know. Cool, right?
Right.
Yeah. You know, I didn't get
Put
a
a
tour
little-
of their ship, actually. Do you want to go?
Put a little.
We've got like a day and a half to burn, honestly.
little,
He says, "I would love to do that."
a little tidbit. When he gets back, I'm keep distance. Don't even make eye contact because I'm still going through our talk.
The captain of the ship, whose name is Vladimir Prokhorov,
The Russian.
Prokhov Sokurov, wants to have a private meeting with all four of you and Anateus. He has invited you to dinner in his cabin.
Oh boy.
It is an honor.
If you so choose to join in.
I tell him I humbly accept his offer.
Might as well.
I will be there.
Except
All right. Are you guys gonna do anything till then?
I'm probably just going to cross-reference theories I had when it comes to my particular field with anything or what kind of dinosaurs have and haven't been discovered. Like, if the world's going to end, I might as well figure it out now.
All right. Okay.
Start
So
talking
you guys
to-
attend the dinner then?
Yeah, I just
Yep.
talk to the Keen, try and learn as much as I can about the future, their technology.
They give you their entire bio library on a biochip that they explain could be read by any main computer that you have in your time, that literally has their entire evolutionary history down.
David.
You get to be the
And they
world's
give it to you like it's nothing.
Would I get a copy?
What of your fossil history? You have a
You
fossil
should
record?
find it in there.
Wonderful.
You just became the world's first xenobiologist. Yay!
No, Xeno, Paleo.
It actually includes locations to the Keen homeworld in the file.
I'm sorry. What?
Excuse me. Rocks in the lungs.
Oh boy.
Okay.
All right. So you gonna do anything else?
I'm gonna take a little tour of the ship
Okay.
since I didn't
So they
do
said-
anything.
I can't send a message to Earth.
The Keen homeworld's about 1,200 light years from Earth, I think.
There we go. So we've got about 1,200 light years for anything to get there. Even more, actually.
I'm doing basically all the archive research of like really important events and maybe some scientific breakthroughs. So looking at their past history, like their archives.
I know. I think I want to say it's 200 light years from Earth, something like that. It's not that far away.
So, I just lost my train of thought. What was it? So they said that we can't contact Earth now, otherwise they're going to blow up the satellite and nuke us from orbit.
No, they changed their mind. They're
They're
gonna
giving us
let
a
you. They're gonna
chance,
let
but it's gonna be
Anateus
monitored.
All right,
do it, but they're gonna monitor what happens.
then I'm going to get in touch with Oracle.
Okay.
And I'm just going to convey that we have one shot. It is the longest shot in recorded history of all time. The only
Just,
way.
you said you met aliens.
It's like
Why not tell everyone that? I'm sure that would unite humanity in either terror or something else.
Yeah, but I have a feeling there's going to be more riots and more chaos than unity.
Really hard letting go of that
Especially-
anarch side.
Especially when we have to explain to them how we met the aliens. Because they time traveled from the future. Because that's such,
You're so short-sighted, love. We've got a teleporter that can reach very far, and you just gave me the location of their homeworld.
No, I didn't. I'd never transferred any data.
Yes. Yeah, you did. She smiles.
You don't you fucking dare.
She goes, well, think about it. What else is going to unite humanity other than realizing they're not alone? Isn't that the Star Trek universe you're dreaming of?
Yeah, no, that's a fucking TV series. Shit doesn't work like that.
She says, are you so sure? That's how it worked when they met them in the future, isn't it?
I'm about ready to pull some science bullshit. This
I'm
is
about-
really getting about frustrated.
I'm about ready to knock you the fuck out.
I didn't do shit.
God damn it, Ty.
Your connection to this woman has been hurting us half the damn game.
She's all. Oh. Listen, just hold off on it until like tomorrow. Can Void come and get us tomorrow instead of the next day?
I can do that.
Okay. Crack of dawn tomorrow.
All right.
And then we'll talk about that. Not while they have technology that makes...
Anataeus is busy writing a speech to end all speeches.
And we'll bring Anataeus.
And you hear him mention the existence of the Keen in his speech.
Okay, so we're gonna be kind of fine with that until basically.
But we have one big problem.
What is it?
Our boyfriend.
She goes,
He's not going to take this lying down.
she says, well, he'll have to.
Well, I'm sorry, but I don't necessarily want one nuclear warhead and another to play Red Rover across the planet.
You know, there's a really easy way to do that, and she has...
He needs me to hack all the systems, love.
Thank you. She just turns off his broadcast system and switches it to Anataeus's. All she has to do. It's like, oh, everything's going according to plan. Flip.
The directive also has an ear up in the sky. They know that something's up.
Oh, I know that. Did you notice the pressure levels of room 302 on floor number 5?
Did you just vent like 5 people into non-compatible atmosphere?
Let's just say there was a rather unfortunate decompression accident that won't be noticed till tomorrow.
She vented 5 people into an atmosphere that's...
Did she notice me just kind of nuking that one dude?
Yeah. Well, excellent work there.
Okay, maybe you've got a point. There's just... First, it's from the future. Then, they're not human. Then now there's just aliens. They're slug people, highly advanced. It's a utopia in the future, and they're saying that regardless of what we do, it always turns out bad. So I'm sorry for being a bit of a cynic right now, but... I've lost control of everything, and I don't quite know what to do.
Maybe you should do some dinner, she said. Don't you have a dinner date with the captain? You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be swing.
So if the world doesn't end in a day, still up for coffee next week?
Swing.
She nods her head.
Cool. You don't mind if I bring my friend Marissa, do you? Cool.
She's pretty, she says.
What? What? Why would you say that?
Not gonna lie, Lloyd's been rolling that around in the noggin for a while.
Why would you say that?
Same here.
Bye. Click.
You all.
I hope I'm not listening to that conversation. If I am, I'm just
Okay.
like, what the?
They weren't there.
Nope.
None of them were there.
I'm on a tour.
Okay.
Well, we not sure we have the.
I've been
radio
playing the waiting
frequencies
game,
soon,
so-
I have
But-
a quick question to ask Anataeus.
Sure.
Is there...
You interrupt his speech and he pauses his data pad exactly and looks at you. It's like, what is it?
I know this is a horrible question to ask right now, and you're very busy seeing the world and all that. You wouldn't happen to have a U-fiber suit on the ship, would you? On the station at all, would you? Ever?
You can borrow it.
Wonderful. Thank you. There's an old score I'd like to settle.
Oh,
Okay.
what was this? You gonna style on us now? Everybody roll style. Let's do this.
I dress up in the U-fiber suit and style on all of them as we go to the dinner. Oh,
I just like
God,
looking
this
over
is
you.
so
It's like,
satisfying.
it's like how long did it take you?
Roll appearance style.
I'm gonna do the same
Just
thing.
him.
I'm
Just
gonna,
him.
All right.
One success.
You look pretty dapper. All right.
but
I'm
taking a
hole
little
digging Jen.
tour of the ship.
Huh?
I'm taking a little tour of the ship before.
Oh, sure.
And I was like thinking that like during the tour I would pass by a family, just stop and admire her. Just
There's no families on the ship. There's just soldiers
I thought they were a
and
family.
explorers. No, they're not. It's not like Star Trek.
All right, never mind.
Okay.
But I'm just taking a tour of the
Cross-species relationships in the future.
No.
No. Not willingly, says someone.
What does that
And
mean?
then somebody else says, don't talk about them.
questions for later.
Oh,
Do you want to ask about them?
I've already
No.
I've got a horrible,
No.
horrible idea.
Just let it go.
That just the thoughts brewing in my head. I'm not voicing anything. That if the Novas are losing the war, they certainly need some way to reproduce.
One of the Chinese scions on the ship says, nope, that's not it, while you're thinking it.
Huh.
There's a species, or rather a cabal of species, called the Coalition, and they think rape and murder is an appropriate diplomatic greeting.
When they invade a planet, do they glass it?
They invade a planet, they reduce everyone down to their amino acids, and then use it to genetically engineer their offspring.
Interesting.
Those
Fascinating.
people need to
Which is wrong.
die.
Yes.
You
I wonder
know,
how good Divis Small would do against something like that.
Divis Small's dead. He says, and he just keeps walking past.
Allegedly.
But knowing that I'm going to have
Semantics.
a dinner with the captain, I'm going to
So what do you think?
We're
What
gonna
kind of
suit
food
up.
do they have from the future?
Suit up. All right.
gotta look my best for a dinner.
Do you think they have a 500-year-old wine?
Oh no, my mind's open.
I'm talking to Lloyd, by the way.
the last thing you need is alcohol right now.
It's the one thing we
Do you remember what happened at Fishbones? You don't need alcohol.
That was one time. We have not gone out for drinks yet since. I'm genuinely disappointed.
And I'm not willing to chance that on a 500-year-old wine.
All right.
5 successes on
5
appearance.
successes.
On appearance and style.
All right. You're very stylish. The captain meets you in full dress uniform, and there are plates arranged in front of you and meals, like a meal and utensils. It's very nice, like roasted duck with sauce d'orange and other things. The fact he's serving French cuisine is not lost on you, and he looks at you and he goes, "Oh, it was just what was on the menu. It was nothing about what was mentioned earlier. I apologize. Please sit."
Well, we're not the ones that committed the atrocity, so I'm perfectly fine with it.
Of course, of course.
Although, sorry about the atrocity.
It was, and after the chef leaves, he flicks on a screen behind him, and the picture of a planet shows up.
Earth?
Huh.
It's not Earth.
That ain't Earth. That's...
It's a Gaia type planet. It's a perfect ecosystem planet.
So it's an alternative.
Is this real
It's
time?
Mars.
No,
No, it's
that's Eden. And what I'm about to tell you is the top secret of secrets in Aeon Trinity's military forces. That's where the Novas left to.
Hold up. Big question here. First, I'm going to ask the four of us. Why do people keep telling us these things?
I'm telling you these things because I want you to know something. The Novas left. They created a utopian world far from here, about 14,000 light years away. And they've largely kept to themselves there. So your idea has already worked, but it didn't prevent the Nova War.
Then what triggered it?
He goes, looks at you and he says, "We're not entirely sure. We believe there's a Nova that has the power to taint other Novas."
That would make sense.
We believe that's the entity we're fighting. We've actually negotiated a peace treaty with Eden.
Well, that's progress.
And Divis Maul's burial site is on Eden, he says to you. He is dead.
In the future.
In the future. He died peacefully in a ripe old age.
Of 1067?
Something like that.
You can only hope to live that
Well,
long.
he has some secret offspring then.
I thought you should know this information before you put all your hopes on what you're getting at.
The fact that everything that we want has already been achieved.
Indeed.
This individual that's able to taint other Novas, does he exist in this timeline?
We're not entirely sure. If he does, he's in with the Terrigen. Divis Maul wasn't affected, but his underlings were. You must understand, our reports of what happened in your time are very spotty at best.
Do you have records of his underlings that kill counts? Do you know which ones you did kill in number 2?
All we know is the names of his associates. Garyon, he flicks a slide, and there's like this guy, literally this monstrous furry guy here.
Okay.
Mephistopheles, who you're familiar with, is like the spokesman of the Terrigen. And Oracle comes up too.
Oh.
We don't know much about them other than their names.
Somebody
We
might.
know of someone who might have an inkling? We're in contact with Oracle.
Well, I hope your message goes well. He doesn't say much the rest of the dinner, and he shuts off the screen.
What do you have for board games in the future?
He says, there's risk, but I'm afraid the map looks a lot different than you're used to, and it's got 2 more planets on it.
Intriguing.
You guys still play Uno
What
that ruins
of
friendships?
Monopoly?
He says, Monopoly is considered an over-capitalist game that encourages corruption and dark dealings. So, of course, the Americans promote the hell out of it. But my people, the Russians, don't.
Nothing changes.
Nothing changes.
What about the
You must play Uno.
Uno? He says, Uno's quite popular, actually.
Everyone putting into the same pile? Of course it is.
2s plus 2?
Sorry.
He's Russian Federation, so he doesn't take that. He doesn't care. The rest of the meal is delicious. You get up, you leave. He thanks you for your time, and he wishes you good luck, and you can tell that he earnestly means it. He says, if you're successful, I guess we'll just fade out and wake up in a different reality.
Or someone from even farther in the future are going to go and say that we're making another mistake, and then we all have to fight together.
I don't think that will happen.
Yeah, you never know.
We'll see.
Might have some fun with it. Time traveling adventures. The united coalition of the humans, the Novas, and the Psionics all together attempting to correct the timeline.
All right.
Make a great TV show, at least.
All right.
Permission to
So,
shut him up. Permission to shut him up.
Anateus gives his speech and records it and sends it to Oracle. We'll see how well his speech goes.
Before he does that, I basically contact Art Knight to see if he knows any information about some of the names that we heard about from the meeting.
Garyon is dead, and Miss Mephistopheles is dead by his time.
Okay.
Wow, lots of ones.
Oh,
Oh boy.
man, it's looking like it might die.
1 success.
We got Finland.
No, that's all he needed 1 to get it, and he got 1 success.
Oh.
So the directive immediately tries to shut down his broadcast because he's talking for the Union of
All species.
aberrants and scions, which people don't know exist. And also, he invites the Keen to visit Earth. Like, he announces that there's an alien race, and he gives them an open invitation to visit Earth. The directive tries to shut down every single station this thing's broadcasting on because they're revealing a lot of shit that he doesn't want to do. But they're not superheroes, and Oracle is, so let's see how well they can do.
So, about Void picking us up that morning when the
They
sun
fail.
down.
Thank you, Oracle.
So, I'm gonna...
Anateus also mentions that there is a cabal of secret organizations united against Novakind, Novakind and humankind, seeking to rule the world from the shadows, called the Directive. And he names out key top Directive agents.
Yes.
It says they are not to be trusted, and one of them is the rear admiral of the Navy. Another one's a Secretary of Defense. Another person is a high-ranking member of MI6, and he specifically blames William Montgomery for starting the Nova War to come.
I was gonna say,
Because
what was that
time
name?
travel is
William?
now out of the bag.
He doesn't mention anything about time travel, but he mentions that accelerating this cause is a crucial member of of Project Utopia, who is currently being hidden by MI6.
Sounds like we
I'd
might
really
have
like to get
end
back
up
down
going
to Earth
England.
now.
It's going to be chaos.
It's going to be.
There are riots in the streets.
I know.
Nova's
They
they're
need
like
us.
it goes crazy haywire. Like Novas are astounded by what they hear. Especially since Anateus is telling them this, and humans, since Anateus is telling them this, willingly. Oh my God!
Oh,
Is that a good oh my god or a bad oh my god?
I'm scared.
give it a second.
I'm scared.
I'm
boys.
excited.
I'm actually scared.
Ooh,
I'm scared.
saving the world or all-out war. It's so
Yep.
tempting.
I'm in danger.
Actually, there are no riots. They got
What?
a shitload of successes to be like for who wants to take this message.
We have peace
And there-
rallies.
No, there's a peace rally in Washington D.C. and the majority of the messages are like "Welcome to the Keen," like please visit us. Like people are like astounded that they're not alone in the universe, and most people don't panic. Strangely, to your
Surprise.
And thus,
surprise.
across this world on this day, I now name it the Billion Man March.
They demand the truth about the aliens, and they demand the truth about the Directive and Project Utopia.
Well, boys, looks like our job is done.
Not yet.
Our
Wait.
job is never done.
There's still
Why
a
is the
lot
ship
to
still
go.
here?
It's still there.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get down to the planet now.
Yes, we do.
There's something that's coming.
Void,
Um,
Void, Void, Void. Oh no. Void. Fuck nuggets.
I'll tell you,
Where's this bastard?
because you haven't stopped the Nova that has Taint Other as a power.
Because he's still on Earth.
Yeah, that's why I was asking if he exists.
Oracle is not sure who or what he is, and you're gonna have to search for him.
Yeah.
But let's see what happens to this message sent out into space. Because it might not matter.
Or it might contact something else.
No, because it's a slow message. But you know
Oh,
what?
I get it for slugs.
It doesn't actually matter. A keen interception point detects the message of welcome to the planet Earth.
We have to find
Motherfucker.
out the time to when the Keen are basically going to come to Earth. Make sure they're
Yeah, you
safe.
accelerate, and the moment that happens, the spaceship vanishes.
What?
2 years later,
Sorry you didn't get a goodbye to your nephew.
yeah, he vanishes too.
It's alright. My nephew still exists in this current time.
There's some chaos and political intrigue as the directive's shaken up, and the people vote in new leaders that promise a peaceful future between Novas and humans. And when that happens, on July 4th, curiously enough, not to scare people for Independence Day, 2025, the Keen show up in their bioship, disintegrate and descend down, and welcome and announce themselves to the human race. And amongst the technologies they give them is the technology to purge taint and aberrations from the Nova genome.
Because of what I had given them earlier.
Exactly. They offer peace amongst all worlds, as is their way. And they also give the technology to terraform Mars without harming its native wildlife.
Joe, what was that face for? I did a good thing.
Yeah, I was asking, why'd you facepalm? Why'd you facepalm?
Because I let them study me.
A
They
new
can fix
future
us.
of alliance between the Keen and the human race takes root. And that's when scions start emerging for the first time.
Let me look up the first
I
research
will be
when
at
they
the
start
forefront
popping
of
up.
this, having published papers on the proto-scions and conducted studies. And like Project Utopia did for the Novas, I will do for the scions.
Awesome. With you, who has Megastam? You do?
Two.
Two? How many do you have?
I have 2.
Only you two live long enough to see this happen, but the scions that have the ability to teleport expand the human race, Nova, human, and scion alike, to worlds far beyond this world, including the Karoo mining colony, which is 16,000 light years away in the Magellanic Cloud. Humanity has a bright, bold future ahead of it.
At least my grandchildren may one day view it.
Yes, and you have grandchildren
What?
because of getting rid of Utopia. The drugs that
Oh, God, they
sterilize
fixed it.
Novas don't no longer work.
Oh yeah, that's right, they fixed it.
Novas
Hello,
replaced
Lab.
by a new coalition of forces representing each of the races of the planet Earth, being the Keen, the humans, the Novas, and the Scions, in proportional and Senate representation.
Nice.
The existence of aliens has united the human race for good.
You hear that, humanity?
Especially since the aliens are like very benevolent.
Nice.
Exactly. Therefore, that would be the end.
So Arknight,
Little
Unless
side
there's
note.
anything else you
did
want to do.
Arknight vanish?
The colony's plan to taint all Novas and overthrow the human race can't take root because the Keen know too much about the Nova genome now.
So much for the Oklahoma massacre.
Yep.
That doesn't happen because there's never anyone insane enough to do it.
Good job. You get to be Uncle Alan.
But
I get to
James,
be
after
great grandpa
this
Alan
whole-
is what I get to be.
after the Keen come to Earth, Morrow just kind of fades into oblivion.
Just kind of fades out.
Like,
Yeah.
no one knows him, but he has a family line.
Cool.
So you're kind of like
The world is
Assassin's
saved.
Creed.
Essentially,
going on?
And Alan Sattler, despite mistakes made and
5 years
good
later,
decisions made,
5 years later, you do get a note on
Kids,
your door that
grandkids.
says, "I'm
he
sorry,
returns to Montana
you were
and
right."
starts digging.
Not only do you return to Montana and start digging, your expert work on xenobiology has given you an invitation to the Keen homeworld to go on several digs for their archaeological mining projects.
You get to find alien dinosaurs.
I would be honored.
So, and the chromatics never rise to fight humanity because the chromatics were trained by novas to fight humans. So that doesn't happen. So the chromatics are never even come into existence. Like they're just stay on their planet because they're a primitive race and they don't ever interact with humanity. And the coalition never encounters novas in the far reaches of space, so they never are interested in humanity and they never know we're here and they never arrive.
That's okay, because I basically under my term would be creating
just wanna
the
point
future
out-
foundation.
That since I have that little flash drive with all of their known Oh wait, no, that would have faded out, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Ah. Well, from what information I might have gleaned from it, I had a little bit of an advantage when going to their homeworld.
Exactly. Well, they just have the same thing there. They just give it to you. It's like they have to them. It's like breathing. Biotech is like just existing. It's not very a big thing. So cool.
Inorganic
So
clothes.
everybody's doing that.
Fascinating.
I'm
Also,
creating
you get a
as
little
kind of
picture
a
of
future
what my
foundation,
family-
which is kind of like
I started a family.
Nova, Scions, basically the ones that are wanting to protect Earth and other planets. Pretty much like an organization for the good.
The Space Defense Force to help defend everyone
Yes.
against the machinations of those that would destroy the hegemony of the world.
Yep.
Good going there, Mr. Xavier.
James.
Well, more like
got your
Told
wish.
us
Richards.
in like
More
5
Reed
years after I
Richards,
just
actually.
disappeared. He gets a
Xavier's
note on
old.
his door that says, "I'm sorry. You were right." And it's a picture of me and my new family.
Oh. I
Yay, it's the happiest ending we've ever had.
I totally-
I don't know how we
I-
did it.
I totally forgot. One thing I would have done
We
before
fucked it up.
when I got
We fucked it up
when I got
indeed.
back to Earth is I would have used that
Oh,
contact
hit the chair.
information from the mafias, given it to Oracle, and I would have systematically hunted them down and brought them to justice.
Well, there's no need for organized crime anymore because with Keen and human biotech, the
And my-
world's a utopia.
Yeah, but they're still fucking
And
monsters.
my special task force,
Yeah,
too.
they like everything anyone could possibly need is in abundance.
But they still kill people.
So you have made an even greater utopia than the utopia that they were trying to protect.
Told you.
We did it! I called it! We totally did it! Woohoo!
To that bitch in the future, I told you, don't miscalculate my shit.
I guess I'll just leave an etching in a large cliffside.
Now I can picture like
Told you, bitch.
an older
no, no,
version
no.
of you just sees her baby form. Like, I told you.
I guess I just leave a large
No.
etching in the side of a cliff, which I hope won't erode over certain times, or I take protective measures in order to ensure it won't. Just leave a message for specifically this person from this colony from here who was in charge of this in the future. Her. Because I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Indira Ambani,
Yes.
she's voted president of the UN and is a very different person in your timeline.
Because we changed it. We changed the history.
Well, then I guess I make a mural of her from the future and mural of her from the present, shaking hands, and just have a good day and go back to work.
Cool. So that concludes our run through Aberrant, the superhero RPG. I hope everyone enjoyed it as much as I did. I just
did.
wanted to be a mini series, so 6 episodes a good place to stop. And besides, we saved the world, so you guys should give yourself a pat on the back.
So much for season 2.
So much for season 2. So if you're wondering what we're going to do next, well, next week we're taking a 1-week break because it's my birthday and we're having a party, so there won't be a game, and we're probably not going to pre-record an episode, so we're just going to take a week off next week.
And you're all invited!
Yeah, and hopefully, no, please no.
Here's the address. This is the address. Come to this address on this
The
day
one
and time.
person that's watching, you're invited.
James, plug the address here.
No, that's...
Just watch like a whole government shows
But
up.
we will be running Exalted next, which is an ancient world RPG by White Wolf. We're going to be running 3rd edition, and hopefully by the time 2 weeks rolls around, I'll have the books and have them all read and have something written up for it.
At least mostly read.
Mostly read. You don't need to read the whole things.
Nah.
Yes, because it's time for us to bring out our new characters.
New characters. Indeed.
You're gonna have a hell of a fucking time. Woohoo!
We might... I don't know if I'm going to stream character creation because it's kind of boring and it takes a long time.
That'd be
But
fun,
I'd rather just stream the first episode. So in 2 weeks we'll be running Exalted. If for some reason that's delayed, we'll do a one-shot. But we'll catch you back here on Saturday. That would be... what Saturday would that
June
be?
8th.
June 8th?
Yep.
Yeah, June... It was to verify. June 8th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch us as always at Twitch TV/BraveYetStupid. Email us at braveyetstupid@gmail.com or tweet us at @braveyet. If you like our intro and outro music, you can find it at soundcloud.com/James Scheib. That's James Shaieb. That's me. And it features rapper Ron Bilas from Detroit metro area. So this is signing off of our Aberrant podcast. Goodbye, Aberrant. It was so much fun playing you.
It has been an honor
And
being your hero.
Thank you for joining us and dodging bullets, apparently. Thank you for joining us for this podcast, and we'll catch you next time.
If anyone got the Transformers reference, that was totally fucking awesome.
Right off the water bottle.